There's always a little air in these, so to condense them down, I can make sure all the food is down below the seal. And I'll puncture a little hole, just tiny. Push all the air out, and then seal it. And it condenses down a lot more for fitting in your pack. Good morning, day 13, looking down on the Baptism River, way down. Just beautiful. I've been hiking about 45 minutes, up, whenever you leave a major watershed. Spent the night in Silver Bay and got dropped off above Beaver Bay this morning. And just a beautiful day, beautiful view. Check out my second breakfast spot. Awful nice. Lake Superior's out there. I can't really tell where the water starts and the clouds end. Just all merges. You can actually see some land over there. Really super nice beaver pond down here. Beautiful ridge, sun shining on it. It's super quiet. I haven't run into anybody. Look at that. Boy, I almost just made a wrong turn. It's pretty clear, but there's a deception right there. I would think this sign should be right there because that's where the trail goes. And there's Spirit Hiking Trail sign right up there and a blue blaze. And then up there, there's a white blaze, meaning it's a spur. So it's clear. But when I look at this, I want to go that way. So a little deceptive, but marked good enough. I only took about 4 paces that direction and saw the white blaze and figured it out quick, plus all the other signage. Anyway, up we go. This morning's climb up was actually really nice. I'm still climbing. Still got a long ways to climb. Heading down now, probably to climb that ridge later. Because it comes down to a little point here below the beaver pond somewhere. I have to get across, but the climb up was very friendly, long steps, even though I was going up. And I was able to get 2.5 miles in an hour and a half, which in this country is turning out to be pretty dang good. And so I'm kind of hoping that that's a little sign of the future as we get further south here, because if you can long step, I mean, there was the reason mileage was a little lower than what you, or a lot lower than you do in the neighborhood. There was a lot of long stepping and just a few rock stop places. If you can take straightforward long steps, you can lay down some mileage. But anyway, that's this morning's report. The grouse comes at 4, and on we go. We got some hiking things to talk about, and I gotta talk about my day off and some other fun things. So on we go. Back to turtle speed. Looks pretty close, so let's check it out. I wanted to show you the color. Thought we had missed most of it because we're late. It's October 11th, but we're starting to see some color on maples, which is always awesome. So here's what this camp looks like. Yeah, dandy. Shout out to Jeremy and Finn, the first people I've met on trail today. They got on at Gooseberry and they're on day 2, and he's packed for 7 days shooting for Lutzen, which to me sounds a little aggressive, but you know, we have to put everything in perspective. He's young, tall, I'm old and stubby, and so I'm a 63-year-old chubby hubby, but I train pretty hard for this and feel like I can lay down miles pretty good, but he'll probably do it. His pack was over 50 pounds, which is heavy, and he admitted that next time he wants to be lighter, of course. But he does have to carry food for Finn, and I would imagine probably 3 times Finn's daily amount to be able to do this. I hope Finn's little paws hold up. He has a beautiful black lab, and I'll show you his picture. But yeah, I wish him all the best and hope they have a beautiful hike. It sure is a beautiful day today, and I wish him success. That looks like a pretty friendly section of trail here. I can maybe talk about yesterday a little bit. It's been pretty rocky for a while here. Anyway, so yesterday I got off in the afternoon. My sister picked me up just above Beaver Bay, and we went down to the green door. Had Schmitty and hams, sorry. Oh my god. Some of my friends will get a kick out of that one. It's a really local bar that's been around for a very long time, and a really cool place to visit. And we had a pizza, and we really enjoyed that, and then went to the hotel and took a shower and did shower laundry, which the hotel had washers and dryers, but we were planning on going to Two Harbors, and I didn't want to take the time to do a full wash load and sit there and wait for it. So shower laundry, yeah, so much for the friendly talking time. I throw my clothes in the shower, and when you're taking your shower, the soap from your hair, are going down onto the clothes, and you're stomping around and swishing them around. And basically, you wash them that way. And then that way, oofta, later on when we got home, I just had to put them in the dryer and get them nice and dry. So that's shower laundry. Well, I guess that's enough talking for now. If they build it, I will come and sit and look at that. Yeah, look at that. Way out there. Sailboat. I don't know if you can see see it just to the right of that tree. There's an oarboat way out there. And I believe down there is going to be the beaver pond camp. As I can see it. And then, I just glanced at the map, I didn't look too close. It's called Christmas Tree Ridge, so I assume that's what that is right there. There's a lot of trees, pines, so it's just beautiful up here. Grouse number 5 and 6 just flew from right here. I wish I'd have started videoing as I approached Beaver Pond. See those two? The whole tree's gone. They took and ate the whole thing. And here's another one, freshly cut. It'll be interesting, but see how they're chopping it up. And they'll probably take most of this. This one's pretty good size, but yeah, someone else will have to see. This is kind of cool other than it's very wet. See, the beavers have come through here. And they've come through here so often that they made this channel. And it ends right there where they've been crawling out, going up into the woods there to get their food. Now some of this is hikers going around this water to my right. But these trails are probably, by the looks of this channel, the beaver trails where they've been dragging food for all summer. That's pretty cool. Okay, as he slips in the mud. Back to yesterday, I was so rudely interrupted by heavy breathing. So, after a beautiful shower, beautiful thing, we went down to Two Harbors and met my son Dave, who lives in Duluth, and played some cards. A little oh heck is the game, and I had only 11 ounces of George Hunter Stout because I actually wasn't feeling all that great yesterday, and I'm glad that my day off came when it did. And as the day wore on, I started feeling better and better, and I believe that I have not been getting enough calories, because when I went through my pack and everything and re-upped, resupplied, I found that I had been skipping a couple, 2-3 bars a day, and when I put them all together, it kind of added up to almost a day's worth. Not quite, maybe half, but when you're only doing 5, I am now dedicated to eating all of my day's rations, and I knew better every day so that I don't run too low. This is NoPack's Fat Camp. I'm expecting to lose between a ½ pound and 3/4 pound a day. That's my experience on Colorado Trail, and I've got it to give. So I know I'm running a little short, but I can't run too short, or it'll knock me off trail. Now, yeah, at least I'm not breathing too hard on myself. If you're thin and lean and mean, yeah, you don't have any to give. You need to pound the calories. So after card playing, we went out for dinner, went back, and then the glory. I put my clothes in the dryer, but the glory of the hot tub, I tell you, that's something that'll rejuvenate you. Putting those Achilles right on the jets, and I'm out in there for a good 45 minutes to an hour. I just put my knees on the jets. It was awesome. And so that was it. Got up this morning, had a little breakfast at the hotel, a great night's sleep. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it took about an hour to find my little leak in my sleeping pad. For a while I was going to give up, but I was dedicated because it's a real pain had that thing deflating uppity up, and I finally found it. And so the Nemo little bag has a little repair kit in it, and I also had brought some glue in a bag that basically my resuppliers bring me like a just in case bag, and I had some really good glue in there, so that worked out really well. And I think we'll find out tonight that my pad is repaired. So that was the day, and I got on trail just a touch after 8 this morning. Beautiful day. So grouse count so far is 7, and the plan for today was to put on 12, and that puts me in the camps up above Split Rock Lighthouse Park. And you know, this trail is like a box of chocolates. You don't know if it's going to be rocky up and down, slow go, short steps, muddy, or boogie. And so it's very hard to gauge. I'll probably be stopping there no matter what. The thing I don't know is, will I get there at 4 o'clock? Will I get there at 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the dark? And I don't know. Oh, there was number 8. Anyway, it's pretty cool when they jump, because a bunch of leaves come up off the ground, and so it's pretty neat. The grouse of many names. So yeah, it's hard to judge your mileage, and you're a little limited by the camps. You know, it would be nice to, I don't know, I like having the camps. The benches are a game changer for me, and sometimes it limits your mileage because the next camps are pretty far. So I think the next camps from there, well, it was far enough that it wasn't really a consideration. So I'm gonna get to those camps and have no clue when, because I don't know when I'm gonna get here. And there he goes. He just ran right up the trail and just sat on my feet. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, how many times do you get to experience something like that? Red squirrel runs up the trail and sits on my feet long enough for me to take out my phone, get into photos, start a video, and he's still just sitting there looking around. And yesterday, or the day before, I got to see a pine marten chase down a squirrel and catch it and run off with it with the squirrel still squirming, and that was going to be his breakfast. I mean, how many people have witnessed that in the wild? I don't know, maybe none. It's got to be pretty dang rare, and that's one of the really cool things about being out here. It's a challenge, it's beautiful, and you just see stuff that other people don't get to see through this trail. This is kind of what I'm hoping for as we go further south. It's a little zigzaggy, but hey, that's cool. I'm fine with this. This is awesome. Even a few small stretches of this would be an upgrade for me getting done with the challenge part of this trail. As much as Mount Agnes is my favorite mountain, and I think Christmas Tree Ridge is going to be my favorite ridge because this is pretty nice. So we need to talk about something about backpacking, because I'm trying to help you get the confidence to come out here and have a red squirrel sit on your feet and see a bunch of grouse and beautiful country and walk down Christmas Tree Ridge. Pack weight. Okay, now I'm a crotchety old dude, so I can talk like this. It can turn into a real pissing contest. My pack's lighter, you don't need that much weight, all this and all that, and it really depends on you. What do you want? How comfortable do you want to be? How far are you going? Now, if you're only going 3 miles in and you want to be comfortable, your pack can weigh an awful lot. If you are doing the PCT or the Continental Divide Trail, which is these 2,000-3,000 mile trails, and you're a lean, mean hiking machine, you can get by with a pack under 20 pounds. And so everyone wants to know how much my pack weight. It should weigh as little as possible with what you want in it and what you want for comfort. So you can spend a lot of money to go light, and that's kind of what I did. I spent good money on my tent and a lot of my gear so that I could go lighter, and it allows me to bring a few frivolities that would make an ultralight person just go, no, no, no. But hey, I want a little comfort out here. My pack is in the low 30s. Today I'm carrying 5 days of food, but I'm actually not feeling my pack much at all anymore. I mean it's there, but typically when I resupply and get a lot more food, it feels a lot heavier, and really not feeling that today, but I'm sure by the end of the day I might be. Anyway, pack weight. Get it as light as you can, but bring what you want. And don't get into that pissing contest. You're either going to spend a lot of money or you're going to go without if you want a light pack. So there's people that will go and dumpster dive into a construction site and get a piece of Tyvek plastic and roll up in it in like a burrito, and that's their tent. And it weighs like 5 ounces or 4 ounces. But, you know, that's not the crowd that I'm talking to. I'm talking to regular people that want some comfort, and yet you want to keep your pack weight down, because every pound counts, every ounce counts. But it really does become a pissing contest, and every time somebody posts about pack weight, there's always somebody honing in that, yeah, my pack used to weigh 32 pounds and now I've got it down to 12 or whatever. And it's like, geez Louise, if you're down that low, you're doing without. So anyway, that's my opinion on pack weight. And at some point here, I'm going to go through and show you what I carry. And I've got actually a little bag that I carry, and it's like the do not need bag. I rarely go in there because it's stuff I know I'm not going to use, but it's stuff that I need as a little backup just in case. Anyway, there's my little lecture on pack weight. Get it as low as you can with the stuff in it that you want. We were talking about pack weight earlier, and it made me think about, it's kind of a tricky situation to try and figure out if you are going to be a backpacking camper who's going to go out and put some miles on and put up a tent and sleep in the woods and all by yourself if you've never done it. And yet, to make it enjoyable, you need the gear, and the gear is expensive. So I don't have a solution. I guess you have to decide how dedicated you are to give it a go. You could borrow, you could rent, but this lifestyle or this endeavor takes a little getting used to too, mentally, and you may find that you don't like being out in the woods all by yourself all day long. It takes a little getting used to, I would say. I've kind of been outdoorsy my whole life, so it wasn't a thing for me, but I do know that, you know, if you spend day after day after day in the woods, that it can wear on you a little bit. And I love being out here. I love the solitude, but I love my breaks and getting some people time. So maybe this is for you, maybe not. So that's the quandary. You buy all the gear and then you figure out, wow, I mean, that I didn't really like being out there all by myself. So I don't really have a solution for that, but I thought I'd talk about it. There's a mental part of this that isn't for everyone. A part where, you know, the solitude and the being out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm nervous about this and nervous about that. There's really nothing to be nervous about. There's nothing out here that's going to get you. And it does take some getting used to, though. And so, you know, you just have to figure out how dedicated you are. I would say spend the money, get the gear, and you can always resell it for 75 cents on the dollar, because there's always people looking for gear. So what? You spend a little money, you tried it, you didn't like it, but hey, you tried it. And that's success right there. Keep putting my finger in front of the thing. Thank you, trail people. Fresh cuts. Somebody's been up here taking care of us. Thank you very much. First Christmas Ridge. Got to stroll. I love you, Christmas Ridge. Then Chapman's Ridge. I got to stroll. Chapman's, you're as good as Christmas, but Christmas Tree Ridge is a cooler name, so sorry. And now, going down an old logging road for like a mile. Sweet! Some people would say that this is boring. But I'm telling you, on day 13, this is glorious. I've been strolling forever. Look at the holes are in my hand. Awesome. Earlier this morning, I met Jeremy and Finn, and Jeremy told me what he was going to do, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And very optimistic. After the last couple hours, I can see why. This is sweet. And your friends are all right, Jeremy, so I can give you, I got nothing but respect. But change is gonna come, my friend. Change is a-coming. And he's a young buck. He'll whip it right out. But after seeing this, there hasn't been much of this on the trail. Bucky Beaver's been busy. Look at this trail. That's where I came from. It just gets better. That's where I'm going. I don't care about no little hill. Look at this. So, I'm coming, we're into Split Rock Lighthouse State Park now. And it's going down the trail here. And here's a trail going off this way. And there's no SHT markings at all. I think that the state parks really limit the markings that the Spear Hiking Trail Association can do. And so there's a map here. And I also know by looking at my app that I need to make this hard right. But there's absolutely no signage right here. Maybe up the trail a little bit there might be a blue hash, but this would be very easy to miss and just blow by. But I need to make a hard right. Goodbye, nice trail. That's all right. So I just looked on all trails, and of course I am on the right trail. There have been no markings. Oh, there's one. Just when I was saying there hasn't been any. It's been a ways though. So yeah, kind of gotta watch yourself when you get in the state parks. I'm not sure why they want to limit the signage. I mean, the state parks are for everybody. I know when I come into trailheads, I'll use the bathroom, and a lot of the bathrooms have garbage cans, so I'll put garbage in there. But I bought a state sticker specifically because, hey, if you're using it, then you should be helping to pay for it. And I think the sticker was, I don't know, 35, 40 bucks, but you know, they do a good job keeping these parks up. I appreciate being able to put off a little garbage. And so if you're gonna come hike the trail, pick up a sticker. They're at all the visitor centers, and you can buy them online. You know, you're using it, so I'll pay for it. There's another slash, so that's good to see. Yeah, there was nothing right down at the Y though, so yeah, I was a little confused. One more point to add about buying a Minnesota State Park sticker is that they're letting the Spear Hiking Trail go through the park. And so we're very thankful for that, because it would be very difficult to go around all these parks, and these parks are beautiful. So, you know, as a thank you, even if you're just hiking, never parking, never go to the visitor center, never whatever, hey, pick up a sticker. We're using their land, and pay your way. That's my opinion. We're in Split Rock Lighthouse State Park, looking out on the lake. Can you see the sailboat up there? And then we move over this way. There's Split Rock Lighthouse, way in the distance. It's really pretty. Beautiful day. You can see the shore of Wisconsin over there. The lake looks maybe pretty calm. Probably a nice day for sailing. I'm sailing too. Can really tell that I'm getting my trail legs. And of course, today's been just a nice tread, but there's after you've been on trail for a week or two, you get your what they call trail legs, and it's kind of a combination of three things. One is, of course, your legs are getting really strong, and so everything becomes a little bit easier. The second part is that I know I'm losing a little bit of weight, so I'm a little bit lighter even with 5 days of food. I'm not feeling it as much. And probably the most important is that my legs now know that, yes, we're gonna do it again. Yes, it's another day. And they've just given up complaining, because they know it won't do them any good. And so I'm getting my trail legs. We're dropping down to an overlook. So that's probably not a first, but it doesn't happen often. Let's go see what it looks like. Boy, I keep doing that. Knock it off. Grouse 10 and 11 are right up ahead. Let's see what they do. They were in the trail. See if we can get close to one of these guys. They're pretty sneaky. They're both here within 10 feet. Oh, there goes one. Oh, the other one's running. Going down the trail. Watch when he takes off. If you can. See the leaves? Isn't that cool? Thought I'd cover a few hiker terms that I can think of off the top of my head. We already covered slack pack. That means that you've dumped your big pack somehow and you're basically got a day pack and you're going to go back to your big pack at some point. So that's slack pack. And what I did last night would be called a Nero, and that's where, you know, I hiked yesterday, but then I came off early and stayed somewhere overnight, and then I hiked the next day. So I didn't take a day off, but I didn't keep hiking the whole time. That's a Nero. And then of course there's zero, and that's a zero means that you actually took a full day somewhere to recuperate, visit with friends or whatever, but you still stayed on trail. I mean, you didn't leave for a week and then come back. That's not the same thing. A zero means you could take a couple zeros in a town or something, but you're still basically actively on the hike. You're just taking some time to recuperate, rest, or party, or visit a friend, or whatever, but you don't really leave the trail town you're in. That's a zero. And let's see what else is there. There's a yo-yo. So a yo-yo is actually, in my mind, still considered a thru hike. And that would be where, for some reason, you did part of the hike in one direction, and then you quickly motored up and then started back toward that same point in the other direction. So some people I've heard will just yo-yo the north terminus. Not quite sure why. Maybe because it's so remote. They'll have a friend drop them up at the north terminus, and then they'll hike to Grand Marais, and then they'll have that person drive them down to Duluth, and then they'll hike north all the way to Grand Marais. And typically yo-yo would mean, again, you're not taking time off, much time off, maybe a day, maybe two, between when you get off trail and when you get back on trail. And then the last thing would be section hiking, which makes sense, and a lot of people hike this trail in sections. Highly advisable, actually. And that means that you are going to hike the whole trail eventually, just not all at once. You're doing it bit by bit, and that's cool. You're out here. And so that's a few of the hiker terms until we're getting close to Duluth, because no, Duluth Airport is not that busy. They have a big Air Force base there, and I imagine that's Tom Cruise zipping around up there, chasing and practicing, so it's pretty noisy. Okay, I maybe saw him before he saw me, so let's see if we can see a good leaf jump now, or if he's going to run into the woods. I'm about 15 feet. Oh yeah, right down the trail. Nice. That looks awfully nice. Right down by the river. Listen to that all night. I'm gonna go on now. There's 3 more. So it's still just a little ways up to where the bridge is supposed to be, but I know that the bridge is washed out. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, that is an easy cross, I think. I might be coming back here, but I leave no mile of this trail unturned if I can. So for now I'm going to go up and at least look where the bridge used to be. And I may be coming back here because that looks pretty hoppable, but maybe it's more hoppable up further. So here we are. Yep, not much left of that bridge. This winter we had a ton of snow in northern Minnesota and huge melt off, so I think it just came, I'll bet this whole valley was just full and ripping and roaring. So now there were several places back there where I could have crossed and I could see the trail right on the other side. So I could have cheated the trail a little bit, but nobody would ever know, but I'd know. So I'm going to check it out. That looks a little sketch. I'll look around up here. Otherwise, I'll go back to one of them other spots, but it'll be easy to work out, I believe. I've only gone upriver about maybe 50 yards. I've watched enough old westerns to know you should cross the river in the evening because you don't know what's going to happen in the morning. But it looks like this is my route. Looks pretty easy. Gotta make sure that that little dude is solid. And I should be able to skip right across here with no problem because I got hiking poles. Getting across was a piece of cake. Getting through the woods and up the ridge. Much harder, but I could tell others had done it. And coming into this camp through the back door. Oh, what a nice camp. Yeah. I'm gonna go check out the last one because I want to go as far as I can today. But it's super nice. And I believe the trail's this way. What a beautiful day. I saw more grouse and hikers. I might have saw maybe 5 hikers. Grouse counts at 12, which is daily record. We had 12 on one of the very early days, maybe day 1. Maybe we'll scare one up between here and camp. It's about 1/3 of a mile, I think. Hiking downriver now. It's just beautiful. What a nice day. It's about 4 o'clock. So I'll be coming in a little bit early, which is just fine by me. It's just been a glorious day. There's rain in the forecast for Friday. Today's Wednesday. So if I'm sloshing Friday, I'll have to think back on this day because, oh man, just glorious. Got across the river, no problem. Up through the woods, just take your time. It's a piece of cake when the water's down. If it's been raining, it might be a different story. So, yeah. Well, this is home for the night, I believe, if I can find a decent pad, which I should be able to. All 4 camps were empty. That'll do right there. Drop your poles. don't know who's rolling in the next 2 minutes, and I'm gonna look around. But this looks really nice and cozy. See what else is here. There's two things that an ultralight person wouldn't have. My nice fuzzy alpaca socks and my Crocs, which could double as something that I could wade in water with and not get those wet. So far, they've stayed dry, but am I willing to pay the price for this little bit extra weight? Yep. Okay, it's a beautiful night, so let's do a little pack shakedown. This might get boring, but that's what I've got out already. Water bottle in my little seat and my salt for the evening, and I got changed out of my shorts, and I've got my Crocs on, and this is my clothes bag. Kind of show you things in bulk as I take them out. So this is all my clothes. It ain't a whole lot. I was giving a hiker a little bit of a hard time, one of the California boys, that his coat weighed more than all my clothes, which wasn't true, but this kind of clothes. And there on the bottom of the pack is my pad that I hope is repaired now, stakes, and tent. Look how light that baby is. Woo! That's gonna go right over there. I got my poles showing me right where to set up. Head uphill just a little bit. And then in the front here, this nice clean hat. It got warm today, so I took that off. And then the stuff I want to get to quickly, my spear hiking trail and data book, which I don't get all that often, but sometimes. Food that I was supposed to eat today, and there's still a couple left, so I'm already breaking my promise, but I do have a pair of gloves. This is another thing that an ultralight person probably would not pack. I almost didn't bring these, but I'm so glad I did. And what that's for, I just resupplied, so I got a few of those. So that's all the stuff that I want handy, including the thermometer, which is reading 55. And I got the water, and we stand this bad boy up. And in the top is where I keep my rain jacket and the cover for the pack. So we don't have to go into that. In here, miscellaneous, my spoon mainly, and my headlamp are the things I take out of there in the evening. Get into the main pack, show you what's going on quickly. Here's another thing that ultralighter would never bring. It's my pillow. Oh my God, I'm so glad I brought it. Look how bulky it is though. But I have room. This is my full cook kit. That's all I need. And I'll show you that. This is my quilt, one of the bigger items. And when I get into camp, I just pull all this stuff out and set up. We discussed that already. And then this is my 5 days of food. So, not too bad. And so those are the big things. And that's it in there. Oh, I got a couple more things. This gray, I almost put everything in waterproof sacks. This is waterproof, and this is all my electronics and stuff, and I may go into each one. And this is a little gray bag that is stuff that I supposedly will never need. And I don't think I've used anything out of there yet. And that's it. So, that's the basic pack breakdown. Got the Garmin, got some water, and now I'm going to set up the tent and get rocking and rolling and probably have a fire in a little bit. And there's the tent. Kind of looks like a tent. I timed it, took 4 minutes. The way I do it is I lay it out. I have my poles on each side so I can know exactly where I want it. I'd like to be in a little saddle. I like my feet to be down just touch. I do the 4 corners, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I do them, I'll start at this corner and then I'll pull that one tight so this is tight. And then I'll do that one and I'll pull so that this is tight. And then the last one I'll pull so that all 4 are tight. And then I come back and I do the pole ones going down here. kind of looks like a tent. And then last I do the side ones. And it's a really quick setup. It's pretty sweet. 4 minutes is dang fast. And now I start getting all my stuff in there that I need to be nice and cozy. Someone's been being lazy. Look at all that crap in there. It's no wonder I got a hole. I should be shaking it out. I'm gonna sweep all that out of there. I'm gonna get really squeaky clean. I've been being lazy and I paid the price. And hopefully that is over. There's my repair. We'll know in the morning, but now we know whose fault it is. This is my down quilt. It's rated for 10 degrees, made by Enlightened Equipment, Minnesota company. It served me. There's a lot of them out there. This one is actually kind of made for 2 people, but it works really good for 1. It's got a foot box, so there's a little area that your feet go down into there. I got it on my tent because I don't like this touching the ground. And then you just kind of, it's really meant to, you're supposed to just lay on your pad and then this covers up you and whoever else is in there with you. I actually use it kind of like a sleeping bag. I keep one edge real close to the edge of the pad and then I flip it over and it's worked real well. So that's my quilt. Here's a true thru hiker sin. It's a pillow. I keep it in a dry sack. It's kind of small and really fluffy. And for me, it's a game changer. I have a blow-up pillow that's lighter. Not much lighter, actually. But it slipped around and I could never keep it under my head. And then I'd end up putting a shirt over it or a buff or something over the thing so it wouldn't slip so much. And I've loved that little pillow. Am I willing to pay the price? Yes. Okay, let's go through the clothes. I'm wearing my pants. They're quite thin, but they serve, and they're kind of a windbreaker pant too. I'm wearing my shirt, which is long sleeve and grubby, and I'm wearing my puffy right now, and a pair of smart wool Grundies. And let's see what's even in here. I know there's a clean t-shirt in here that I've never worn. Normally I don't bring these, but I brought a pair of thermals just in case it got super cold, and I think I used them once. I've got 2 more pair of socks here somewhere, so I bring 3. Seems to work. I'll probably use these again tomorrow. Even though they're grubby, they're dry. I have a towel that I'll use for basically me, my hair, and that's all I have for a towel is a little one. I have a little washcloth in there that I use to wipe off the condensation on the roof of my tent in the morning. 2 more pair of Grundies, my shorts, and a t-shirt which I have not worn yet. And normally I wouldn't carry this either, but that's what I have for clothes and my gloves, and that's it. And it's been plenty, and I've been in the 30s, and yes, I have gone to bed with all my clothes on, not all them, but what I was wearing during the day, and wearing my puffy to stay warm, but it worked. And so that's all you need. You don't need a ton of clothes, and when you're hiking, you don't need many at all because you're hoofing it and staying warm. Okay, let's go through this little pouch. There's only 3 things that I use daily. My spoon. Okay, I found it. My headlamp. I changed the batteries last night. And this is a little light that I keep in the tent. Again, I don't need 2, but I got a backup. So I could use this for hiking. I use that for hiking. And so I have a backup light. And then there's none tablets in there. And I have a couple of light straps for kind of just in case. And I've got a little soap. And some porridge. I haven't used it. you could see, so that's what's in that pouch. So this is what's in my gray bag, which I call my electronics bag, but it's kind of my daily bag. There's a cord for one of the chargers. I've actually got 2 of them. Shouldn't. They're one of the heaviest things I carry. I'm carrying 2 because I want to be able to charge 2 things at once. I've got hearing aids here that I want to be able to charge up. Don't really need them for hearing, but that's a long story. So I have 2 chargers because I want to be able to charge in my phone and those, and I want to be able to charge it inReach. So I thought about dropping one at this last thing, and I'm like, what the heck? It just don't matter that much. I like having 2. This is the cord for charging up the Garmin, this thing, and I think this is the cord for charging up one of the chargers itself, and the phone cord. And I've got an extra thing for holding my eyeglasses. I like to have them tight to my head so they're not slipping down on my nose when I'm sweating. Can't hike without it. Ibuprofen. For night, baby. Yep, need that. Haven't needed this yet, but sometimes hotels now are pretty much set up for you don't need them, but just in case. And I do carry some, my son turned me onto this. I had trouble with my Achilles when I did the Colorado Trail. I have not had that trouble on this trip. I haven't used this yet, but after I finished the Colorado Trail, 2 months later, my Achilles were still not fixed, and I started using this stuff. It's like a waxy, pull out the cap. It's like this waxy stuff, and I put it on my Achilles, and they were healed within about a week and a half. And I was feeling my right Achilles a little today, so I'm going to use that tonight for the first time. Otherwise, I've been carrying it for nothing, but I am going to use it. This is the backup seal. Talked about that earlier for my water filter, and I do have a backup cap just in case. So that's everything in the little gray bag. Not much, but 2 of those. Whoops. This wins the award for most beautiful place to get water. Hands down. This is my full cook kit. All I need is gas, a little rag to hold the hot pot, a lighter. Don't get that goofy big kind, get this kind. It's like a little torch. It's got my fire started. Well, kind of started. I think she'll go. And then in here is my little stove, or my little thing that my pot sits on. Only weighs an ounce or so. I'll show you that once I get it set up. So there's a little stove set up, and it's a BRS, whatever that stands for. And this is a titanium Tokas. Don't know. Just set that up there. Crank that up. And away we go. All I have to do is boil a cup and a half of water, and that's going to go in my bag, and that's really all I need. And that will last forever because that water will be boiling probably in about four minutes. So it lasts an awful long time. That cup looks huge in the video. It's not that big. Everyone should experience a night like this once in their lifetime. Well, I sure hope you do. It's so peaceful. I got dinner cooking. I got a nice little home. Sun's going down. You can hear the river in the background. It's just dead quiet. No wind. Thank you, Lord. Keep me safe. Help other people experience this. Look at that. Well, playing a new game this morning. I got up at 4 and got out of camp at 5. Try and put on some miles today. This is the way the camps are set up. So far so good. Not helping that it's raining, so everything's slippery. The march goes on. Good morning, it's day 14. I got up this morning at 4 and I was out of camp by 5 in the dark by headlamp. And of course it had to start raining for about an hour, so it made that interesting. But it was light enough to turn my headlamp off at 7. And I'm kind of heading above Gooseberry somewhere. Climbed out of Split Rock River. Look at that. That's nice. So, sprinkling a little. I'm on the section of trail by Gooseberry, which has now been reopened, and it's quite nice actually. And I don't actually know the full story. I've heard from several different people, and over time that the hiker met the landowner. And like I said, I don't know if this is true or not. It might be legend, but I guess it doesn't matter whether this is the true story or not. But the fact of the matter is that the hiker gave the landowner some grief. I believe the landowner was hunting, and I don't know the scenario, but I can picture a scenario where the landowner is hunting, maybe with a dog. The dog is off leash. Hiker comes along, gives him a little grief about the dog, and then gives him some grief about hunting. And whether they knew it was the landowner or not does not matter, because you are a guest here, and the landowner shut it down. And it took the Spear Hiking Trail Association some amount of time to convince the landowner to open it back up, or it changed hands or something. But anyway, the landowner has now allowed it to open back up. It's a beautiful section. Greatly appreciate that the landowner opened it back up. And as in anything, people are on a bell curve, and someone way out on the end of that bell curve messed it up for everybody else by, why would you give someone grief about anything that they're doing? It's none of your dang business. And in this case, it caused a big issue. It was a big reroute to get around this area. And I would just say, whether that's a story or not, it may be another story. Whatever the story is, if you meet somebody out here, just be friendly. Whether you agree with what they're doing or not, doesn't matter. It's not your business. And I would say 99.9% of hikers operate under that scenario. And in this case, a small percentage hiker really mess things up. And so, just be gracious and thankful these landowners they don't have to let this trail come through their land. They're being very generous and allowing us to be a guest, come through and enjoy their property. And so I guess that's about it on that. Again, I don't know the true story, but I can picture a few scenarios where someone would say something that they really shouldn't be. So I'm just grateful that the trail's back open and it's a beautiful section. To add to the story about this landowner, who, again, thank you. If you're anti-hunting, I'm a hunter. I've hunted my whole life, and there's no one who loves the animals out here more than I do. And if you really are anti-hunting, in my opinion, you do not understand what it's about and the traditions behind it and the motivations and why people are out here hunting. You just don't get it. All you see is, why would you kill that beautiful animal? And that's really not what it's about. I have seen fantastic things hunting. I will sit and watch quite often every fall. I'll watch 100 deer come past me before I decide to take one to put in the freezer. Oftentimes waiting for a buck because it's a bigger challenge than the other deer, and that's the only reason that you do that. But the grouse I've been seeing, grouse count today is 1. There's people that hunt grouse. It's not that, hunters, if it wasn't for hunters, there wouldn't be probably any national parks in this country, or very few. Thank you, Theodore Roosevelt. And if it wasn't for the money coming in from hunters for licenses and such, a lot of these state parks wouldn't have got kick-started. Now they're supporting themselves probably with the stickers. But hunters donate so much to the animals and nature, and they're very, 99% are, want to help with people getting out into nature, enjoying nature, family traditions, hunting. But it's not about the kill. It's really not. It's about being out and about. I have had very awesome encounters with other animals other than the ones I was hunting, like the red squirrel on my feet. I've had chickadees on the brim of my hat and on my arm, and squirrels on my leg, and just all those little things add up to why people are out here. And I guess this trail isn't really about hunting, but you're going to run into some hunters out here. Probably. I've seen a few. I saw a gentleman and his wife was carrying their baby on her back in a baby backpack, and they are meandering down the trail, and he was grouse hunting. And it was a family outing, and that's really what it's about. So if you see hunters out here, that's all right. I don't know that I'd walk the trail in the rifle season in November, although I will talk about that in a second too, because there is something about that is quite interesting. So on we go, and this trail is pretty dang awesome. Well, there's a lot of really nice boardwalks in this area, and they're probably really protecting the land. But look at this country This is beautiful deer browse country. There should be a lot of deer here. And there's a lot of grass, there's a lot of browse. And winters are a little bit tough. Some winters are a lot of bit tough. But there's no deer here. None. I know how to read deer sign. I've hiked, I don't know, we're getting somewhere close to 200 miles here. Not quite yet, I guess. But I've seen 2 deer. And there are no deer up in the North Woods, not much anymore. Sneaking along on a trail like this, when you're in thick country, you should be seeing deer. And I should be seeing deer tracks, and I have not. I've only seen 2 deer. Those were both down kind of close to Highway 61 and the state park. I did see 2 deer in Silver Bay, which don't really count because I was in a car and they are in town. But there's no deer up here anymore. You drive up 61 in the spring and people see all kinds of deer. They're like, oh, there's all kinds of deer. Well, deer go down by 61. They used to go down there they go down for a lighter winter, and they used to go down for the salt, but I don't know if they use salt anymore. But they definitely go down where there's traffic, more people, some houses, and it's a lighter winter down close to the lake. But that's it. I talked to a guy that was up on a hill, lived up there, beautiful country, had a big garden and all kinds of plants. I said, don't you have trouble with the deer? He said, I've only seen 2 deer this spring and they are moving through. We don't have any deer. So why is that? And it's a hot topic, but wolves play a huge role in that, and winters. But the wolves really probably play a bigger role and probably should be controlled locally instead of federally. Again, it's a very hot topic, but just like anything else, I think a little local control by people that know what they're doing and know what's going on in these woods, they're the ones that should be controlling what's going on. I said I've only seen 2 deer. I live probably 150 miles from here, kind of southwest. If I had hiked these kind of trails in that area, I'm not kidding, I would have seen 500 deer by now. That is no lie. We're right on the southern tip of where the wolf range is. We have some coyotes, and again, I don't know why there's no deer up here. There used to be deer up here. It used to be a very family tradition thing during hunting season, but I don't know that if you hike this trail during hunting season that you'd see a lot of hunters, because I wouldn't be hunting here. Why bother? There really aren't any deer here other than getting out and seeing everything and carrying on the tradition. Oh, look at that. That's really pretty. Yeah. Awesome. And to finish up on this topic, a little bit about hunting, a little about respecting landowners, and it'll be interesting. Like I said, I'm kind of dangerous because I know a little, but I do know that there's people that work for the state and the DNR and that know a whole lot more about what's going on up here, and they're the ones that should be in charge. It'll be interesting as I get closer to Duluth and more people, and a little bit further south, how many more deer we start seeing, and or deer sign. I haven't seen a track or deer sign for like ever, like none. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens going south. So there's an argument that says, well, wolves were here before, deer were here before, and it's all it should be a balance of nature. And that's all right. I mean, that's cool. But nature is hardcore, and the way things cycle, I mean, that philosophy works. It just means that there's not going to be too many deer, or at some point the wolves don't have anything to eat, and so they get to slowly starve to death, and then there'll be more deer and or moose or whatever. But then, like this winter was a hard winter for deer, but it was probably a pretty dang good winter for wolves because they could just chase them down and chomp them, and that's not an easy death. There's no easy death out here, and that would mean that the wolves ate good, so now they're gonna have a bunch of little cute puppies, and then next year maybe there's not much snow and there's not many deer and moose left, and now here comes the pain. So yeah, we can leave it to Mother Nature, but she's hardcore. At some point she's gonna pull the trigger on us humans as well. So look at this area, just super nice. A little sloppy, but the tread is nice. Boy, somebody did a lot of work on this section of trail. All the boardwalks, they built up the trail with dirt / clay. And there's just been a ton of work done here. So thank you to whoever's done it and or donated money to hire a contractor to do it. But however this was done, they did a really good job, and it was a ton of work. So thank you. So I thought of a couple, jeepers creepers. Yeah, easy park trail. I thought of a couple more hiker terms. One of them that you'll maybe hear is 10 by 10. And if you hear that, that means you are with a true hardcore thru hiker. And these are the people that do the Appalachian Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, which is from Canada to Mexico, and the Pacific Crest Trail, which is from Canada to Mexico, or Mexico to Canada, or however they do it. And those trails are typically take 3.5 months. And what they mean when they say 10 by 10 is they want to have 10 miles in by 10 o'clock. And it also means they want another 10 in by 2 o'clock. And they want another 10 in by 6 o'clock. And so when they say 10 by 10, they're saying that they're doing 30 miles a day. And the hardcore hikers can do that and more. It's not quite 10 o'clock, and I got up and started at 5, so an hour sooner, although it was rainy and dark and slippery and rocky, and this trail's been muddy. But come around 10, I'm going to be just shy of 7 miles, which is, under these conditions, I'll take it. But yeah, that's the term, 10 by 10. You're in front of a hardcore hiker, and they're putting on big miles. I met a hardcore hiker just 4 weeks ago in Colorado, 3 weeks ago, and he said he hikes 12 hours a day. He had already done the Appalachian Trail, and he was working on the Continental Divide Trail this year. And he said, if I get up at 6 in the morning, I hike till 6 at night. If I don't get going till 8, I hike till 8. And he said he averages 35, 36 miles a day. That's hardcore. Another term is hostel, which people probably know. But the bigger trails will have people, mostly ex-hikers or current hikers, will start up a little business it's a place to stay that's much more cheaper than a hotel, and it's set up for hikers, and it's a really good place to meet other hikers. So it's a social kind of thing, and usually you would be in a room with 4 or 6 other beds slash cots, or not, bunk beds, and you'd be sharing a room. And now there goes the grouse. Number 2. And then there'll be a community area, and you'll have probably laundry, and it's a good place to stay. And it'll usually run $30-40. And so I didn't do them, haven't done them. And so that's what hostel means. I'm not sure there are any on this trail or not. There might be. I just don't know. I know there's some cabins up further north that are off trail that you can get, but I don't know if they'd be considered a hostel or not. Anyway, so that's another term. And, I'll let you know if I think of any more. Standing here under a big cedar tree. This rain is killing me. I put my rain jacket on and off like 4 times already. Every time I think it's gonna quit, take it off. Or it quits, take it off, 15 minutes later, back on. Kind of endless. And I just looked, I have good service here, and it looks like, I mean, it's coming off the lake and building as it comes off. It looks like it might quit in the next few minutes, but thought I'd sit under this tree or stand here for, give it 5 minutes, otherwise the rain jacket's going back on because I can't afford to waste time. The plan for the day, the reason I got up early and got started, it's kind of a quandary. There's a camp at 13 miles, and then the next camp is 8.5 miles past that. So it'd be 21 miles, and nothing in between, which kind of bites. So it's either a 13-mile day or 21-mile day, and 21 in this slop is going to be hard. And with the rain, stopping and putting jack on and off. So my goal was to shoot for the 21. That's why I left early, and we'll have to see how it goes because it's not going super duper. Maybe it's only going to be a 13er again, but if things improve, you can always hike in the dark and set up in the dark, but that kind of bites too. Anyway, that was the plan. And the plan maybe is going to have to change. So if it doesn't quit here in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to gear up again and off we go. Thank you, Mr. Cedar Tree. It's very dry under here. Well, today has been a total slop fest. Pretty much rained on and off all morning. The built-up trail that somebody worked so hard on is clay. Probably not the best choice, but whatever. My poles saved me from a fall backwards. Both my feet were sliding together forward, and I was going to go down on my back. And I'm not sure how, but both my poles were planted hard behind me, and I was able to, it happened really fast, pop up or do something. I'm not even sure how it, but instinct kicked in. But without my poles, I would have been on my back. But so that's the second time my poles have actually saved me, and they've helped save me another 3 or 4 times. But 2 for sure falls without them. Yeah, you just don't know when with the leaves and everything else. It's just a tough go. And it's getting a little bit better now. It hasn't rained for a while and it's a little windy. And so, anyway, that's the story for now. The reason I'm still wearing my rain jacket because it actually got pretty cool out. But the reason for taking it on and off is you get hot. And but eventually it rained enough that it cooled it way down. So I'm still wearing it even though it's not raining. But yeah, I guess I have to think about yesterday. I've got a plan to become famous. I'm going to get a little sign and paint it blue with my name on it. And then I'm just going to go somewhere along the trail and pick a big tree or something and say, Scott's Tree. And from there on evermore, it'll be known as a place. The big lake is, you can't see it, but there's big whitecaps out there. She's not happy today. Well, it's afternoon and I'm still trying to boogie, but the trail has not been like yesterday where you can just cruise. Not even a part of it because of the mud and the rocks and the roots. So just short stepping it the whole way. So the plan was to try and get to that bar camp. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do. I figure I'll see what time I get to the closer camp and then take it from there and do some math and calculus and maybe throw in a little algebra and figure out what it's going to look like if NoPack packed 13 miles in X number of hours. How long will it take NoPack to pack another 8.5? Yeah, it's gonna get nasty. So trucking on. It's still beautiful, but it wasn't even supposed to rain today. I can't wait till tomorrow. Okay, I've come up with a new plan for being famous. I don't want to pick a big tree because that one will be gone in 100 years or whatever. I want to pick a little tree up on Christmas Ridge that's outgrown the non-existent deer browsing. So something about 6 foot, and put a sign there and say, Scott's Tree. This tree was 6 foot tall in 1924, because it's going to take me a year to organize this. Maybe I give a donation to Spear Hiking Trail Association and they'll put up a little sign. I don't know. I suppose we don't want to start that kind of business, so there'll be signs everywhere. Anyway, yeah, do a little tree, and then people can see how much it grows every year, and that would be interesting, out of curiosity. So that's the new plan. Christmas Tree Ridge, 6 foot tree, 1924. Scott's Tree, or maybe NoPack's tree. But Wisconsin pools because my great grandchildren could go up there and see it. Well, here it is, Crow Valley campsite. Decision time. The water right there. Really nice pad over there. Now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. It's 1:30. Well, I'm motoring on. I did the math. This morning I only averaged 1.5 miles per hour, which, if that's what I do for the rest of the day, will put me in camp at 8, which means I will be walking with headlamp for a little over an hour. And it'll have been a 15-hour hike. Hey, that's why we're out here. Have some fun. Get her done. I met Kurt and Brian, 2 different hikers. They weren't together. Brian has done from basically, he started at Martin Road and he's heading to Silver Bay, and he's already done Silver Bay to Grand Marais, so he's only got a little bit left. Once he hits Silver Bay, he's just got the North Terminus, I believe. But Brian said that the section after this camp is a little rough, ups and downs, and if he's done the hikes up north, he should know. So got that to look forward to. I did look, and it looks like the last few miles into the next camp, which will be Silver Creek, I'm southbound. The last few miles are flattish anyway. It looks like on the map. So if I'm going by headlamp, at least that shouldn't be too bad. It depends how much I get slowed down by. Kurt said the same thing. He said that it's a pretty rough area coming up here, so we shall see, I guess. And keep on motoring. I think the issue with pace is a person can't keep their toes going forward. You're always going side to side, dodging roots and rocks, curving this, dodging that. My pace at home, I can easily do 3 miles an hour. Typically I do, even on a dirt road with hills, not trail, I can do 17-minute miles, which here, you know, even an average of 20-minute miles is fairly casual for me. And here I'm averaging about 1.5 miles per hour. So that gives you an idea that when you're planning to come out, see how I just have to zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Every inch I step right or left is lost mileage. Kind of divide what you normally do by at least half, possibly a little bit more, at least for most of what I've seen. Well, you probably can't tell on video, but it's a long ways down. And over there is a long ways up. And you can bet that's where we're going. It's probably Wolf's Ridge. Or Wolf Ridge, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's next. Just came from over there and down there, and it was harsh. tired body. Very slow go. Earlier in the day wouldn't have been too bad. The rocky terrain is relentless. You have to dodge rocks at every step. It's never ending. Yeah, it's been like this a dang long time. I'm braking, but I'll make it. Yeah, you should come out here and enjoy this too. Listen to NoPack. Everyone should experience this. Very few people have. And only those that have know. Here we go. This trail is doing me no favors. That is very up. I walked. I don't even dare look to see how much farther I have left. I think I'd start crying if it was too far. It's a good bit yet. Mama. Well, it's about 6:30. Been on the trail since 5 this morning. I've got 1.2 to go, so I will be going in the dark. Just barely. Just saw a notice, and I had seen it on the website too, but didn't quite understand it, I guess. That, you know, they want you to camp just at the campsites, and yet this site is a long ways from the last one. But I now have to hike in here 1.2 miles to camp, and then I have to turn around and hike back out tomorrow because there's a closure on the other side. So they allow you to camp, but then you have to come back and do a road walk until you meet up at the trail again. So it's going to be 1.2 in, getting there in the dark, and then 1.2 out in the morning, so kind of a cluster, if you know what I mean. But I guess I'm going to survive. The trail's friendly anyway. Well, it's 7. I should be getting to Silver Creek pretty soon. And I have to get water. And then it's 0.2 to camp. I get set up. I definitely have to eat. I eat everything in my bag. A long time ago. I've been hitting the electrolytes good. It's been very cool though, so I'm not sweating a lot. I guess you have to test yourself sometimes, and I sure did it today. I'll take most of the blame, but the setup wasn't super good. The trouble is you can't plan your days too good because you don't know the variables of weather, mud, and rocks. You can see the altitude changes, but those other things change it. So anyway, get some water, set up, and tomorrow will be another day. but definitely testing the limits of a chubby hubby 63-year-old doing over 14 hours in one day, pretty much steady hiking at a fairly decent clip whenever possible. Well, okay, see you tomorrow.